Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Are you guys able to hear me properly? Give me yes or no. Yes? Great, great. So, is my screen visible to everyone? Can everyone see my screen? This introduction to C++ and this red pen also. Is everything working fine? Yep. Great. Great. So, guys, welcome to your very first class of programming. So, how many of you are learning programming for the very first time? Give me a yes or no. Okay, I can see a lot of no's. So, you guys have done a little bit of programming before. All right. Okay, so I'll be asking you some questions. You have to answer that. Okay. So even if you have not done programming before, do not worry. You'll be starting from the very scratch. Okay. So what's the plan for today? Today we'll start from the very basics. We'll see how computers think, why programming languages exist, writing our first C++ code, some rules of printing, data types, operators, taking input, picking decisions, that is if else, and we will do some assignments, walk through, we'll solve some problems right now, and some will be homework for you. Okay. So I hope that's clear to everyone. Let's start with the very first question. So guys, if I ask you what is programming, so how many of you know what is programming? You might be doing it for a long time, but do you know what exactly it is? Talking to computer, yes. Yes, giving instructions, perfect. Perfect. So guys, if I ask you, let's say you have your friend and you ask him to play a movie. So your friend can easily play a movie. He can open Netflix and play a movie for you, right? What will happen if you ask computer to play a movie for you? Do you think the computer is smart enough to play that movie? Yes or no? No, right? So in reality, if you think, computer is super dumb. Computer is super dumb, right? Computer has no common sense. Okay? It has no common sense. Okay? Like humans. It cannot think. It cannot think independently. Right? It cannot think independently. Next is, but it can follow. It can follow if you provide proper instructions. So what is programming? It is nothing but giving clear giving clear instructions to computer so that it can do some work for us. Okay. Can everyone understand these basic points? Computer doesn't have any common sense. It doesn't have any brain. It cannot think independently, but it can follow some things if you provide proper instructions that first do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and so on, right? The programming is clear instructions given to computers so that it can do some of our work, right? I hope that makes sense to everyone. Yes. Great. Okay. So guys, no need to make any notes. I'll give you these notes after the class, so you can make your own notes after that if you want. So that tells us what is programming. Okay. Now next thing is, how do we provide these clear instructions to computer? Does computer speak English? Can computer speak English? No, it cannot speak English. Does it understand English? No, it doesn't understand English. What it understands? Does it understand Python, JavaScript, SQL, Java? Does computer understand these languages? What do you think? Yes or no? Correct. So computer doesn't understand these languages. Computer only understand what? computers only understand zeros and ones. What do we call zeros and ones? Binary, right? So computers understand binary. Okay. Something is wrong with this. Just give me a second. I'll fix this. Just give me a second. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Okay. We were talking about that computers can only understand zeros and ones. That is binary, right? So now, what's the use case of these languages? Python, JavaScript, and all that. What is the use of all these languages? How they will help us? Because that's how computer works, right? They only understand zeros and ones. Yes, something like that, right? So we humans, we humans understand English, right? We want computers to understand the instructions, but they can only understand what? They can only understand binary. They can only understand binary, right? So to bridge this gap, there is something known as programming languages that exist. What's wrong with this, man? Maybe I'll use PPT then. Some update things are going on. Disable transcript. Okay, I'll disable that. Show captions. Yeah, disable that, guys. Just give me a second now. Let me share slides itself. So can you guys see my screen? Hide captions. Yes or no? So I'm turning off the chat. Guys, can you please react if you guys can see the screen? I think you cannot react as well. Okay, let's do a poll. Folks, yes, I think it's visible. Great. Okay, so going back to this. So we're talking about what is programming. So programming is giving clear-cut instructions to computer, right? Then we were discussing that why programming languages exist. So they exist to bridge the gap between us and the computers, right? So we write some code in English, we'll write some text in English, then that is a programming language. It's C++, Python, JavaScript. It can be any one of these, right? And then there exists a compiler that will convert our code into binary, and finally that binary can be understood by computers. Yes, I hope that makes sense to everyone. So we humans write some code in these languages. Then a compiler converts that code into binary, which can be finally understood by computers. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Next thing we have to discuss is ID and importance of syntax. Okay? So you must have heard of Sublime Text, VS Code, IntelliJ, and all these IDs. So what is IDs? So to write some code in C++, Java, or any language, we need some software. That software is known as IDE. So do not worry, we will not be installing any IDE locally. We'll be using online IDE today. You can choose any online IDE and we'll start writing some code there. Then next is the importance of syntax. Guys, what if I tell you a sentence like, I love to cook? I hope everyone is able to understand what I'm trying to convey, that I love to cook. But what if I say you, to cook, I love I? Now the words are shuffled. Okay? Cook, I love to. Now, this sentence doesn't make any sense. So grammar and order also matters. In which order you tell your sentence, in which order you put all the words. So that is syntax. Syntax is nothing but the grammar of language. It's the grammar of language and which you have to follow to make the computer understand what you are trying to convey. Okay. I hope these things are clear to everyone about ID and importance of syntax. Mikey, can you turn on the reactions if possible? Let's say thumbs up or anything. Otherwise, doing a poll won't be nice after every few seconds. Okay, great. So that's the difference between IDE and the syntax. So let's start writing some code. Let's look at the very first, very simple code, that is hello world. So if you look at this code, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines written here. Okay. Let's understand each of these lines one by one. So I'll open an online ID and we'll write some code there. So let's say use codechef.com/ID. You can use any online ID of your choice. I'm using CodeChef. Okay. Let's start with the very basic program of writing hello world. I'll zoom it a little bit. So first line will be include IOStream using namespace std. Then we have int main. Okay. Then I'll write cout hello world. Who has any guesses that if I try to run this code, what this code will print for us? What this code will print if I try to run this? This should print this hello world, right? Let's try to run this. So this gives us hello world, right? Acha, what if I try to change some text here? Let's say I put some 1, 2, 3, some random gibberish, right? Guys, what do you think what will happen in this code? If I run this code, what I will get? Will I get this exact same thing? Yes or no? Let's try to run this. Yes. So a very important observation. So whatever we write here in these double quotes will get printed here. But before that, we have to use this statement, this keyword, that is cout. What this cout is doing? This cout is helping us to print some text on the screen. This cout is helping us to print some text on the screen. Okay. Let's say we want to print 100x school. Let's say write cout 100x school. So this will help us print 100x school. Let's remove this. Okay. Now we have two cout statements. So we should first of all get hello world, then we should get 100x school. Let's try to run this. So this prints hello world and then it prints 100x school. But guys, if you see carefully, I have written this 100x school in a new line, in a separate line. But during the printing process, when it was printing on the screen, I see there is no new line. As soon as the hello world ended, this got printed. Yes or no? Ideally, they should have been on separate lines because I'm writing on separate lines. Acha, what if, let's say I add some more cout statements. I do hello 3, hello 4, hello 5. I'm writing all of them separately. But when I run them, what I'll see is all of them are coming in the same line. What if I want to print text on different lines? Let's say I print hello world and then I want to print Analytics School on a new line. For that, we have one more thing that is known as endl. So this endl will help the cursor. So cout will do what? It will print hello world. Okay, great. Now, if endl was not there, cursor is still here, which will print, which is printing. Then it will print. It's a cout says 100 is print, 100 is school. So this will print 100 school. Then cursor is still here, waiting for the next text. It prints hello 3 and so on. Now, after hello world, if we want the cursor to move to the new line, what we should do? We should use endl here. We should use endl here. So guys, by writing endl, do you think everyone will be on different line? Or this hello world, after hello world, we have a new line? What will happen? Let's see. So after hello world, we got a new line because of this endl. Similar to this, we can have endl everywhere. Similar to this, we can have endl here also, endl here also, endl here also. Yes. So I hope everyone understand how this cout and endl is working. Yes or no? So I think it's the earlier poll. Let's do it once again. Yes, great. I think it's clear to everyone. Okay. So cout is basically helping us to display some text on the screen. So whatever we put in this double quotes will get printed on the screen. That makes sense to us. Okay. Currently, we have written this in 5 statements. Can we combine all of them in a single cout? Can we combine all of them in a single cout statement? Yes, we can do that. How we can do that? So as you can see, I have combined cout hello world and endl together. I could have written this like this also. I could write it like this also. Okay. This is like I'm writing only one thing in cout. But so this will also give us the same output only. This will give us exactly the same output. Now, if we want, we can combine all of these cout statement into a single statement also. How we can do that? Remove this semicolon, remove cout and combine them. Combine them. Combine them. Combine them, right? So to combine, make sure you first add these two less than, right? This is required for combining two cout statements. It will still give the same output only. If I want to combine these four, I can remove this cout and plug this at the end. I can remove this cout and plug this at the end. This still gives us the same output only. Okay. Is everyone clear till this point? Does anyone has any doubt? Any questions till this point? I think it's clear. What happens when we run this program? How does it on the screen? Okay, we just discussed this. Looks like mostly everyone is clear. Great. So that is how cout works. Now let's solve a question. Let's solve a question. Okay. Now if I ask you, key, we have to print, let's say, a triangle like this. 1 star here, then 2 stars here, then 3 stars, 1, 2, 3. On the next row, we have 4 stars, The next row we have 5 stars. Okay. So guys, if we have to print this kind of triangle, what we can do? So we know to print anything, what we need? We need a cout statement. We need a cout statement. So I'll write cout. First line contains a single star. So I write a single star. So if I run this code, just this code, it will give us this first star that we wanted. Perfect. Now on the next line, we need 2 stars. So first cursor is still here only. To move to the next line, what we need, guys? What was the keyword? What we need? Do you guys remember? Yes, the keyword was endl. So let's use endl here to move to the new line. Okay, done. Now to print the next line, we have to again use cout and 2 stars here and again an endl. This will print the first 2 lines that we wanted. Yes, works perfectly. And the similar thing we can do for the remaining lines. So 3 stars here, 4 here, and 5 here. That's how we can print a star. That's how we can print a triangle. I hope everyone is able to understand this code. That what this code will do, this will print a triangle for us. Yes. Great. That's nice. So we talked about cout. Now, if you look here, we have some more things in our code. We have this int main. So we have this int main, we have this iOS stream, we have this using namespace standard. Okay. Guys, let's move back one step back. Let's go back to hello world. If I run this, we will get hello world here on the screen. Acha. Guys, what will happen if let's say remove a semicolon from here? If I remove semicolon from here, will our code work? If I try to run this, will this code work? What do you think? Will this work? No, this code will not work. Let's try to run this. Because there are certain rules that we have to follow. If you see here, it throws an error saying expected semicolon before this closing bracket token. So after cout, you haven't put a semicolon. Semicolon is like a full stop. That like a full stop we have in English. So we have to tell the statement is complete here. Okay. Let's run this. Okay. Guys, what will happen if let's say I forget writing this closing bracket? Will our code work or will it break again? Again, this will not work. Yes, this will not work. Again, throw error. Let's try to run this. So it says expected closing bracket at the end of input, something like this to match this. So always remember brackets, any bracket will always exist in pair. So if a bracket is opening, it must get closed also. Similarly, here also we have a bracket. If it is opening, it must get closed also. Can I end this bracket here at this point? The mains bracket here. Will our code work now? Again, this will not work. It again throws some error. So the point is, so this is the skeleton of a C++ code. You cannot change these 4 lines. You have to keep the program as it is, right? And you should start writing your code in the main function. In these two brackets, you should start writing your code. Now, if we want, we can remove this line. We can remove this line number 2. It says using namespace std. If we remove this, we have to use one more thing. Then we have to write std : cout. We can remove that line, but we have to write it C out like this then. Now this works. What that line was allowing us to do is, ki if I ever want to use C out, I need to write it like std C out. If I want to print something more, I need to use std C out. So to avoid writing std again and again, what we can do, we can just write a line on the top that we are using namespace std. Okay? If we want, we can remove this line, but then we have to use std everywhere with C out. So that will take a lot of time of us. So not recommended. The last thing here is this iOS stream. So this, guys, is a header file. This is a header file which is helping us, to use this C out statement. Helping us to use this C out statement. Okay. I hope everyone is clear with the basic skeleton of C++ program, how we can use C out, endl, and all that. All right, I can see 6% people saying no, most of them are clear. All right, so people who have doubts, you can ask me towards the end, so I can have your questions at the end. Okay, but I think mostly you will be clear with C out statements, right? Okay, let's move ahead. So we discussed about our first C++ code, this one. Yes. So some important rules to remember, guys. First is this semicolon, that every statement must end with semicolon. What is the statement that we just saw? This C out is a statement, right? So it must end with a semicolon. Perfect. Next is case sensitivity. Okay. So if you see here, I have written everything in lowercase. But if I write C out in uppercase, maybe something like this. So do you think this code will work? Will this code work? If I put this in uppercase, will uppercase work? No, this uppercase will not work. Let's try to run this. So case sensitivity means that uppercase and lowercase are treated differently. They will mean different. Okay. So C out versus C out. These two guys are not the same. So while coding, while writing your code, you have to use everything in lowercase, not in uppercase. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Then printing text. That text must be inside double quotes. Okay. In this hello world, if I remove the closing double quote, again our code will throw an error that this double quote has not been closed. So this again must be closed. What it says is, it says missing terminating double quotes character. So we should add this. Some very trivial rules you should remember. Then for a new line, you have to use endl, and brackets always come in pairs. They always come in pairs. Very simple rules. Yes. Will be used extensively. All right. Then we have some operators. Okay. We have plus operator, minus, multiply, divide. And we have one special operator, that is this remainder, this modulo. This mod will help us, this percentage sign will help us find the remainder of two numbers. Let's see what do I mean by this. So till now we have seen that if we want to display any text on the screen, we can use double quotes. But we can also use C out to do some calculations for us. Let's say we can do 10 plus 2. We can do C out 10 minus 2. We can do C out 10 into 2. Let's do endl also. So guys, what do you think? What these three lines of code will do? What these three lines of code will do? They will do the calculation? Yes. Let's run this. So this gives us 12. This gives us 8. This gives us 20. As expected. Now, your question can be, Acha, Dhruv, what will happen if I put this thing in double quotes? Now, can you guys tell me the difference between line number 6 and line number 7? How they both are different? First line contains double quotes and it doesn't contains any double quote. What is the difference? Yes. So first, if we see out this, if we print this, this will print the exact text. Why? Because this is in double quotes. If we add this, we'll get 12. So if something is not in double quotes, that will get calculated. If something is in double quotes, it will get printed as it is. It will get printed as it is. Okay. Then let's say if we change this 2 to 3, let's make this 3, let's make this 3, let's make this 3. Let's do C out 10 divided by 3. So this should give us 13. This should give us 7. This should give us 30. Guys, what this should give us? What is 10 divided by 3? What is 10 divided by 3? Yes, I think everyone knows. So this will not give us 3.33. On pen and paper, we might think this should be 3.33. But as this will not give us 3.33. This will give us just 3. Let's run and verify this. Okay. So if we divide two integers, very important, if we divide two integers, the result is always an integer. In this case, we will get the quotient. We will get the quotient, right? So if you divide, this 10 by 3, if you do this, so 3 here, 3 3s are 9. So here you will get this quotient as the answer. You will get the quotient as the answer. Now, in case you wanted this remainder, you also wanted this one. How you can get that? You can get that by using the modulo operator. You can get it using the modulo operator like this. 10 modulo 3 will be, remainder will be 1. Remainder will be 1. So we get 1 here as the remainder. Okay. Is this part clear to everyone? That 10 divided by 3 will give us 3, not 3.33, because both are integers. 10 mod 3 will give us 1, that is the remainder. Okay. It should be clear to everyone. Okay. Sure, Aman, I'll take this towards the end. We can discuss this towards the end. Okay. Guys, what if I wanted the result as 3.33? What if we wanted the result as 3.33? How we can get that? How we can get that 3.33? What change we can do here? Yes, we can use float. We can use conversion. Yes, this is good. This is good enough. Vishank has given a good answer. What we can do, if I just make any one of them a floating point number, let's say if I do 10.0 divide by 3. Now this will give us 3.33 something. Yes, or I could have done this also. 10 divided by 3.0. This will also give us 3.33. So if we ever want a decimal as the answer, if we want a floating point number as the answer, at least one number should be a floating point number. So we can also do 10.0 divided by 3.0. This will also work. This will also work. Okay. So that's how these basic operators work: plus, minus, multiply, divide, and this modulo sign. And these three are very trivial. You need to take care of this divide and modulo. This gives quotient in case of integers. and this gives remainder. This gives remainder. Perfect. Let's move ahead. Next thing we have to discuss is variables. So guys, if I ask you about that, what is your age? So you remember your age? Your age may be 20, 21, 25. Yes, you remember your age. What if we want our computer to remember something for us? What if we want our computer to remember something for us? Here we have done some calculation. 10 plus 3, 10 minus 3, 10 into 3. If we want our computer to remember something, in that case, we can create a box. We can create a box like this. Okay? Let's name it something. Let's name it age. If we want to create a variable age, if you want to make sure computers remembers our age, and we can put, let's say, 21 here. Because this thing is known as variable. If we want computer to remember some information for us, so we can store that in computer's memory or in a variable. Okay, how to create a variable? Let's say I want to create a variable age that should be equal to, let's say, 21. So I can write like this. Okay, while creating this, if you currently run this, it will throw an error. It will say this age was not declared. It was not declared. You have to declare it first. So to declare or create any variable, you first have to give the type of that variable. So if I ask you, what will be the type of age? So is it a text? Is it a number? Is it a boolean? Is it a etc.? Is it something else? What does it? This age is a number. So we have to store it in, let's say, int. So we can store this age into an int variable. Now if we run this, now this works. Nothing gets printed because we haven't printed anything. So to print anything, we have to use cout. So I can use cout. And if I write cout age, guys, any guesses what will get printed here if I do cout age handle? I have not used double quotes. If I use double quotes, I will exactly get AGE on the screen. But if I remove double quotes here, I will get the value stored in this variable. So we get age and 21. If I change anything here, I will get exactly this text on the screen. Okay? So if we want our computer to remember something for us, so we need to create variables for that. While you create variables, you have to take care of few things. First is what name you will give to that variable. This is the name of the variable. This is the type of the variable. That what kind of information this variable will store. Will it be an integer, a character, a boolean? Will discuss what types exist and what value you want to put in that variable. Okay, basics of variable. Okay, so some data types that you should be knowing at this point. First is int. So if you want to store whole numbers, what are whole numbers? Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2 and all that. Negatives also, you can store negatives also in integers, but they shouldn't have any decimal points. So if you try to store, let's say, 21.89 in this age, okay, now if you try to run this, guys, what do you think? What will get printed? Will this print 21.89? Let's try to run this. This prints 21. So if you give a floating point number to an integer variable, it will ignore the decimal points. It will just store the integer part. It will just store the integer part. Okay. If you wanted to store decimal part also, you need to either use float or you need to use double. Both will work in this case. Okay. So for appropriate data, choose which data type you will put this data in. You will not put milk in a pencil box, right? You have to choose appropriate place to put that data. Okay, so we have integer, we have long long. So int and long long both store numbers without decimals, but long long can store big numbers also, while integer can store small numbers. Okay, we'll discuss the range of both of them. Then double is used to store decimal point numbers. Character is used to store just a single character. So if I, let's say, just want to store this A, or just this B, or this Z, or at the rate, or this hash, anything, a single character. For that we have char type. For that we have a char type. Okay. Then we have bool. What is bool? It is true or false. So if you want to store true or false values, you should use bool. If I want to store true false, I can use a bool. Let's say bool b equal to true. That's how we can create variables of different types. Okay. Does anyone has any questions at this moment about variables or data types? I'm opening the chat for you. Okay. Yes, Nain. String also exists, but we'll learn that at the right time. Okay. String is also there, but it is not a primitive. Okay. Yes. Why int min is 1 greater than int max? So Shubham, will discuss this when we learn about binary numbers and bit manipulation. We'll discuss it that there. Okay. Guys, any doubts in this, in basic data types? Yes, that also exists, but yeah, for now, these should be enough. For starting out, they will serve the purpose for us. So we'll learn about others also at the right time. Okay. So why is the course so slow? So Abhay, I'm trying to teach the complete beginners also. So there are some people who have not coded before ever. So I'm just getting them started. Okay. So if you feel it's too slow for you, you already know this. So you can just do the assignments. You can, let's say, leave the class also. No worries. If you already know this stuff. Okay. Why we need data types? So Pratmesh, if we want computer to remember some information for us, okay, if we want a computer to remember our age, and let's say we want to print our age here, okay, we have to create variables. We'll see one more use case. Let's say we want to take input from the user, that what's your age. Now to store that thing, we again need a variable. This thing will become more clear when we write some more code. So do not worry about this. Okay. Thing we have simmed out. So yeah, we can move forward. All right. So some important rules to remember, guys. So variables must be declared before use. So here I cannot do like this. I cannot do cout age and then create an age variable. This will again throw an error saying the age variable was not declared in the scope. Right? So before using any variable, you have to create that first. You have to create that first. Once it is created, you can use it anywhere. Okay. Next is there should be no spaces in variable names. So I cannot create a variable like this, age, let's say age Dhruv equal to this. Again, this will throw an error. Variable name should not have spaces. It should not have spaces. It should be only one single word. Next is again case sensitive matters here, right? So if I have a age variable like this, I can create one more age variable like this, AGE 22.3. Double, let's say we create A capital G capital E 23.7. So all of them are different variables. All of them are different variables. So again, it is case sensitive. Uppercase and lowercase matters. Next is try to keep meaningful names. You should not keep names like X1, A2 everywhere. At some point it is fine, but not everywhere. So prefer to keep meaningful names. ठीक है. So there are some rules about, these are some rules about variables. Okay, so guys, now let's solve some questions. Let's solve some questions till this point. Has everyone, does everyone has an account on Code Forces? So how does memory know it is int or float? So we tell it, right? We, while we are creating a variable, we tell it, "Achha, it is a double, it is an integer, it is, let's say, a boolean." So computer will know by this. Let's say this is maybe variable A, this is B, right? So while we create these variables, we have to tell that what type it is, and computer will remember that for us. Yes. From where we can access assignment today's class? Okay. So let me share you the group link. So let's share the group link to you guys. So I'm pasting this in the chat. Guys, please open this link. So this link will only work if you have signed up on Code Forces and you're already logged in. So if I log out, for example, and then open this link, now I can see this group, right? If I try to go inside this, you will find some questions here. You will find some questions here. If you open the first question and you read it, it says just print hello world, and you try to submit this code, you won't be able to do it because you are not signed up. You have not logged in. So first, sign up if you don't have an account. If you have an account, just click on enter. Okay, and then log in. Once you log in, you will be able to see all the assignment questions here. So people who already have some experience in programming and they do not need any hand holding, you can start solving these assignments. While other people who are complete beginners, you can focus on the class. Okay? Does that work with everyone? Uh, Share link again. Okay, I'll share the link again. As I'm sharing the link again, please open it quickly. Slides not in the chat. You want slides also? Let me share slides also. Okay. My bad. I think should be. My bad. So now you can open the link of Code Forces as well as the slides also. So people who already have experience, you can open this assignment and start solving these questions. Okay. Should be easy for you if you have already have experience. Let me take a quick poll. Guys, give a yes or no. If you are a complete beginner, give a yes, otherwise give a no. If you are a complete beginner, give a yes. Okay, I can see there are a lot of beginners, right? So I should take it slow only. So people who already have some experience and you are not beginners, you already know some programming. So what you should do, you should move to Code Forces and start solving these problems. While people who are just starting out, you can focus on the class. Okay. So people who are in the class, let me know if you guys have any doubt till this point. Okay, let's take some doubts. Sir, can you explain how to run on Visual Studio Code? Dipender, do not worry. I will share a video with you guys. I will share a video with you guys. So you can follow that and install everything locally, and that will give you a good grasp. But still, if you need some help, you can ping the TAs on Discord. Someone will help you. Okay. How does the memory difference between int and float? So Rituraj, we are clearly telling no ki what type of variable we need. Okay. If we need a floating point or double decimal point number, we write double here. Otherwise, we write hint here. That's it. We have to label it. If we don't label it, it will not be able to understand. So we have to label it while creating the variable. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I think guys, people again need some links. So I'll just put the link for the very last time. So link of this and link of slides as well. Okay. So people who are here with me, let's move forward. So till now we have covered till variables and data types. Okay. Let's move to the next part. Next part is taking input from the user. Okay. Till now we have hard coded everything. Till now we have hard coded everything. Let's say if you want to find sum of two numbers, if you want to find sum of two numbers, so you can do, let's say, int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, and if you do cout a plus b, this will give you 30. This gives us 30, right? Now instead of hard coding these values, what we can do is we can even take these two numbers from the user, 10, 20. So take these two numbers as input. We have to use C in. So I can do C in A, we can do C in B here. So if you see, C in has this direction, that we are getting something from the user, while Cout has the other direction. It is sending something to the screen. It is sending something, it is receiving something. Okay. So here we'll receive 10 and 20 from the user, and it will now print 30. So let's read the code line by line. So a variable A has been created, a variable B has been created. Now we take the input of A. From here we get 10. We take the input of B, we get this 20. So now at this point A will be 10 and B will be 20. If we add them, we will get 30. We can give some other input also. Let's say we give 20 and 60. Now we will get 80 as the answer. Right? We can also do one thing. Currently we have given this input in a single line. What will happen if I give this in separate lines? Will our code change? Will our code change? Now it is very language dependent. In Python or Java, you may have to change this code. But in C++, I have a good news for you. Your code will not change. Your code will remain the same. So first, this will expect here first input क्या आ रहा है 20 आ रहा है ओके बढ़िया देन सी एन बी अब नेक्स्ट इनपुट क्या आ रहा है हमारे पास ये सब कुछ वाइट तो सब कुछ खाली है हमें इनपुट यहां मिल रहा है ओके तो आप 60 को बी में डाल दो दैट्स इट ठीक है so is everyone able to understand that how we're taking input from the user how this cn is working so it helps us take input from the user. Is any questions on this? I think it's clear to everyone. Nobody has any question. Why we use int? Shubham, it's like the skeleton of C++ code. We have to write that code. That is the boilerplate code. We cannot change that. So Deepak, if you already know Python, you can continue in that as well. No worries, you can do in that as well. Okay. So this class is just for beginners who do not know any programming. Okay, so that they can follow up and solve assignments. Okay. I'm using JS for this DSA course. Any helpful resources to learn? So for JS or DSA? So DSA, you can follow this course. For JS, so whatever I will be coding here, you can just ask GPT that how you will write the same code in JS. That can help. Can we do int equal to 5? Yes, Abhishek. Very good question. Very good question. So Abhishek has asked that can we do something, let's say if I do int c equal to 10, this is acceptable. This code will run. But can I create a variable named as int? Can I do this? Guys, what do you think? Is this allowed? Is this allowed? What do you think? Let me take a poll. Can we do this? Can we create a variable named int? Correct. We cannot create. If we try to run this code, we cannot create a variable named int. So there are some reserved keywords. So this int is reserved, double, long, all of them are reserved keywords. I cannot create variables of those things. I can have variable A, I can have B, I can have C, I can have D, but I cannot have something known as int. I can have age, I can have marks, I can have anything that is not already present in this language. Okay. So whatever English words you use in your day-to-day life, you can create those variables, but you cannot create a variable named int. I hope that is clear to everyone. Float and double. So Ansh, float can store till little less precision. Double has better precision. So I think it can store till 7, 8 decimals. It can store till 18, around 18, 15, 18 decimals. Yes, Darshan, I'll solve one question on CF in a few minutes. In a few minutes, I'll solve that. Okay. One more time, guys. Any questions till this point? Till CN? No questions. Can you show the code again? Sure, I can show the code. Unable to use code forces. So Rohit, I'll help you. Do not worry, I'll help you. So if you're not able to submit here, what you can do for now is, I hope everyone will be able to see the problems. The first problem is hello world, the next subsequent problems. You can solve them locally on your ID. And once the class ends, you can submit that on code forces. Okay. Just solve it for now. Just write the code for that and solve it later on. Submit it later on. Can we explain CN? So Gauri, CN is helping us to take input from the user. Okay. Before this, what we have done is I've written here A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Yes. But this A will always remain 10, always remain 20. What if we want some input from the user and then find the answer? At the end, we want na, any other person should also be able to use our code. Yes. So it's better that instead of hard coding these values here, we can take two numbers input from the user like this. Okay. So I can give here, let's say 20, I can give 40. Now this 20 will be put in A, this 40 will be put in B. So we get 60 as the output. Okay. Now I've written this scene on two different lines. Again, I can combine these two scene statements in a single one, like C out. I can remove scene like this and put it like this. Let first take A, then take B. Okay. I hope it's clear now that why we are using scene and how we are using it. Sure, Devank, I'll tell you the process. Do not worry. I'll tell you the process. Okay. Think we are good to go. Okay. So that's how scene will work with this thing. If let's say I want to give a floating point number as input, let's say I want to give 20.7 as the input. Okay. So I need one more variable in which I will store this data. Now this data is a floating point number. So guys, what should be the type? What should be the type of my variable? Is this an integer? This is a floating point number. So I should either create a float or I should create a double. I'll create a double C and I can do C in A, B, C. And maybe I can print this C at the end. So now this will print 60 and this will print this 20.7 for us. So that's how the input thing works. All right. I think that completes the input thing. Guys, any doubts in input? Now we'll solve some questions on code forces. Okay, not able to select C++. I'll tell you after that. Don't need to write endl? No. So Priyanshu, we don't need endl with cin. Cin is just helping us to take input. Endl is a special keyword that helps print, that helps us move to the next line and is only used with cout. With cin, we don't need any endl. That is not required. Even if I give input like this, the code will remain the same. No changes required here. Even if I give it like this or some spaces here as well, nothing is gonna change here. It says cin first will take A, first it will take 20, put it in A, then 40, put it in B, then this, put it in C. Our code will work as it is. ठीक है. Okay. So guys, let's solve some problem on code forces. Let's solve our first question on code forces. Yes. Let's go to code forces now. Let's solve some questions. Okay. Now guys, everyone please focus here. Let's see how do we solve questions on code forces. Okay. So let's solve the very first problem. Already 110 people has solved it. Nice. So if we read this problem, it says your task is to print the string hello world. What is string? String means text. Print hello world. Input, there is no input. Output, print exactly hello world. So we just have to print hello world. So we know how to write the basic code for printing hello world. Yes, we know that. So to print hello world, we need this skeleton code first of all. And then we just write here cout hello world. Hello world. Okay. So we have written hello world. Perfect. Let's try to run this also. So this gives hello world also. So input is not required. We can remove this. So now we can copy this code. Once we have tested this, now we can move back to code forces. Click on submit code. Acha, paste your code here. Next thing is choose problem. We have solved the first problem, that is hello world. So choose it. Then language. Language here says GNU G++ 17. So G++ is same as C++. So you can keep it like this. GNU G++17. This is C++17, C++20, C++23. You can choose any one of these three. I'm choosing 17. You can choose any one of these and you can click on submit. So once you click on submit, you will get a verdict that your code, your solution is correct or not. So if you see I'm getting wrong answer on test 1, okay. So to see what was wrong, you can click here on your submission. This will display your code and tell you your code failed on test 1. What are these tests? I'll tell you in a few minutes. But if you see, it says wrong answer, first line differ. Expected hello world, but found hello world. Oh, they both look the same. They're exactly the same. So guys, what's the problem? Can you spot the problem? कि यहाँ पर क्या दिक्कत हो रही है? Can anyone tell me? यहाँ पे क्या issue है? Let's open the chat again. Yes, we need capital W, right? So again, this thing is also case sensitive, guys. So if it says hello world, here W should be capital. We have to exactly match what is required. If we just mess up with single letter also, this will give us a wrong answer. Okay? So what we should do, we should make this W capital. So I'll go back to my IDE. I'll fix this. I'll run this here. I'll test this. Great. Now I will submit this again on Codeforces to make sure my code is correct. So if your code is correct, you will get an accepted verdict. So now it says as accepted. Great. It will also open this my submissions page. So you will see an accepted verdict here that all test cases have been passed. Okay. These test cases will make sense when we get some input also. ठीक है. यहां तक किसी को कुछ भी डाउट हो तो बताओ. Does anyone has any doubt till this point regarding Codeforces? For JS, what should I choose, Node or JS as language? Samit, you can try in both of these. I'm not sure which will work for JS. You can just try it once more. Guide us through Codeforces more. Yes, Yogesh. So we will have all assignment on Codeforces. You will get used to this platform a lot. So starting में थोड़ी दिक्कत आ सकती है, but eventually you will get hold of it. Can you please pin the link? यार pin, I'm not sure how to pin the link here, but मैं एक बार try करता हूँ. I'm new to Zoom, so getting used to it. Option to pin? No, I don't have any option to pin it here. Mikey, if you are here, can you pin this link if possible? ठीक है. So we have solved our first problem, that is hello world. ठीक है, great. Now next problems, maybe you can try this on your own in the homework. Next question is print first 5 alphabets. So first 5 are very simple. You don't even need input in that. So in this, your task is to print the first 5 letters of the English language. So you have to print A, B, C, D, E. Fairly simple, guys. Fairly simple. We can just do C out A, then end L, C out B, end L, C out C, end L, C out D, end L, then C out E. That's it. That is required in this question. And we can click on submit and submit this. Yes, I think everyone can do this. Super simple. Okay. Next is a triangle one that we just discussed in the class. How to print a triangle. Then there is print Z. It is also very easy. That we have to just display this on the screen using cout. I think everyone can do this. But guys, be very careful of spaces. That how many spaces you need to add in the cout in the beginning. Otherwise, you again can get the wrong answer. The output should exactly match this. It should exactly match this. Okay. Then next is print table of 5. Okay, so we have to exactly print this using cout. Yes. So we can write 10 C out statements, C out 5 into 1 equal to 5, then end L, and so on. Again, very easy. So these 5 questions will give you an idea that how C out works, just to give you confidence in that. Okay. Let's solve some real problems in which we will be getting some input from the user. Okay. Yes. So in this problem now, if you see, it says rectangle. It is the name of the problem. Now we are given the length and breadth of a rectangle. Okay. I hope everyone knows rectangle. Your task is to calculate its area and perimeter. The formulas are area will be equal to length into breadth. Perimeter will be equal to 2 into length plus breadth. Yes. Now we have to take input from the user and then print area and perimeter. Okay. Now, how do we generally solve these kind of questions? Okay. So I'll open quick time. Well, now while you are solving code forces, a very important thing that you should always have with you is a pen and paper. Okay. Now you cannot afford. Uh, this should be here. Now you cannot afford to solve problems in your mind. You need to you need to have pen and paper to have better clarity that what you are going to write. Okay. Build this habit in the initial days itself, otherwise it will hurt you a lot in the longer run. Okay. So in this question, rectangle, we will be given two things as input. One is length and breadth. Okay. So we'll get so input will be length and breadth. Okay. That means we need to create two variables to store, one to store length, one to store breadth. Okay. So I'll write something like this. I need a variable for length. I need a variable for breadth. Okay. Now to take input of these two things, what I need to use Cin. So I'll do Cin length and then Cin breadth. Okay. Input is done. Next task is to print. What we have to print? We have to print area and perimeter. So we can do C out. First we have to match this text. So we have to write area equal to, then to find the area, we have to use this formula. How to find the area? That is length into breadth and do a end. Yes. Similar thing we can do for perimeter also. So we can do area is this and perimeter is 2 into length and plus length plus breadth. So this will be the code that we will write in our main function, in the main. So before you start typing the code, make sure you have a proper solution, have a clear image that what you will code. This is kind of a pseudo code. Here थोड़ा सा rough में लिख लिया मैंने. This is a rough code that I will definitely write while I'm coding. This has given me clarity. So try to think what variables you will need, what variables you need, take care what input you will take, what output you will give, and so on. Okay. So is everyone able to understand this pseudocode? Does everyone have clarity on this key, how we are solving this problem? Let me go back to Zoom and ask chat. क्या सब समझ पा रहे हैं? Yes. ठीक है. Yeah, that looks great. So अगर हमने एक बार क्लैरिटी पेन पेपर पे बना ली ना, then next step is very simple. अब मुझे अगर कोड करना है, It is super simple, guys. I just have to look at this and then code it. तो अगर मुझे सब कोड करना होगा, I'll go back to my ID. I know I need यार एक लेंथ का वेरिएबल, एक ब्रेड्थ का, ठीक है. अच्छा, earlier I was creating variable like this, but you can club them also. If they are of same type, you can write it like this also, length comma breadth. So then you will do C in length, you will do C in breadth. Then you can do C out, area will be equal to length into breadth and L. Then do perimeter equal to 2 times length into breadth. Okay, guys, very important thing to remember here is that you have to put this in a bracket. Okay, otherwise what will happen is if you don't put a bracket here, so I'm sure in your earlier classes you must have learned about board mass, right? So if you see first, this 2 into length will happen and then plus breadth will happen, so you can get a wrong answer. So better to put this in a bracket so that it is evaluated first and then you multiply by 2. Okay, you have to give some input here. So let's test for the sample cases. Sample में क्या given था हमको? 5 and 7. Let's test it. So area 35, perimeter 24. This works? Yes, this works. Okay. Now let's try to submit this. Go to submit, submit code. Paste here. Make sure you choose the problem. Problem is rectangle. Click on submit. So now it says running on test 23. So guys, what we have done is we have written some code. Now to make sure our code is correct or not, what code forces will do, it will test your code on lot of test cases. Let's say 5, 7 it tested. It tested on these two random numbers, then these two numbers, then these two, then these two. कि यार ये आना चाहिए, मैच कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा, इसका आंसर ये आना चाहिए, आर दे बोथ मैचिंग और नॉट. सो इट विल कंप्लीटली एंश्योर कि यार आपका कोड सही है या नहीं है. Is it working for every test case or not? Is it working for every test case or not? ठीक है. सो टेस्ट केस हेल्प्स अस इंश्योर कि यार हमारा कोड सही है या नहीं है. ठीक है. सो इट इज टेस्टिंग ऑन हाउ मेनी टेस्ट केसेस? अराउंड 50 टेस्ट केसेस इट हैज टेस्टेड कि सही चल रहा है. ठीक है. नाउ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग हियर. अच्छा, अगर मैंने यहाँ पे एक स्पेस कम कर दिया होता, मैंने अगर यहाँ स्पेस कम कर दिया होता, सो आउटपुट विल बी चेंज्ड because I've changed the space in the double quotes. ठीक है. अगर मैं इसे सबमिट करता हूं, if I try to submit this now, what do you guys think? I will get accepted or wrong answer? Yes, you guessed it correct. You will get a wrong answer on test 1 itself. So if you go here and try to see what is wrong, you will find कि यार भाई स्पेस की दिक्कत आ रही होगी, कि space is not matching. So it's very important that you match what is expected. So your output is this. So your output is this, but it should have been this. We can say यार एक space missing है इसके बाद, एक space missing है इसके बाद. ठीक है. So we'll get used to these things with time. Anyone having any doubts till this point? Let me open the chat for you again. All clear? Yes, great. Dipender, do not worry. I'll tell you the process that how you can get all the questions on code forces without link also. Don't worry about that. You can do this in JS also, but try to attend classes and follow with the logic. Logic is more important than the language. I'll explain once again at the end. I think most people are clear. I can do again. Initial declaration, yes. Pratik, I'll give an example of this. We can discuss towards the end. Very trivial doubts we can discuss. I think most of you are clear. Expect topics and months. So, Himadri, we can expect we will be doing loops, arrays, and strings within the first month. Till strings we will be able to do. Loops, pattern printing, arrays, and strings. This is the expected of the first month, I guess. So if you look at the syllabus, so you can expect here every topic will have one class, so that will be the pace. So you can join in whenever you feel कि यार ये topic मुझे already आते हैं. You can skip those classes and join whenever you feel कि यार मुझे ये चीज नहीं आती है. I want to learn this. I think most of you are clear. That's good. Okay. So with these concepts, you can solve the. I feel you can solve problems till H1. Till H1, I think you will be able to solve if you know these concepts. Okay. Now to solve the remaining problems, we need to learn some more concepts. So now let's move to that. Let's move to that. Okay. So next thing that we have to discuss is, let me go back to my screen. Next thing is this relational operators. Guys, what do you think about these operators? Do I need to explain them? Or I think these should be very simple. These four should be very trivial. Does everyone understand these four operators? Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So if I say is 5 greater than 3, so it is true. It gives true. Is 5 less than 3? No, it is false. Is 5 greater than equal to 5? Yes, so it gives true. Is 4 less than equal to 3? No, it is not, so it will give us false. Hope everyone should be clear till this point. क्या ये basic operators कैसे work करते हैं? Relational, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. Now we have two new operators. First is this double equal to. You have seen me writing some code like this. Int a equal to 10. ठीक है. What if I write 5 double equal to 5? So this double equal to just checks. This is the equal to operator. It checks whether the LHS and RHS are same or not. So if they both are same, it will be true. So if I ask you, is 5 equal to 5? Yes, it is true. If I ask you, is 6 equal to 5? You will say it is false. It is no. Okay. Similar to equal to, we have not equal to. This is how we write not equal to that. First we write this exclamation mark and then equal to. So is 5 not equal to 3? Correct. 5 is not equal to 3. Perfect. It is a true statement. It is a true statement. Okay. Does everyone understand these operators? Give a quick yes or no. Okay, let me use the poll. Does everyone understand this relational operators? Yes, I think it's clear to everyone. Yeah. Great. Okay. Now, guys, if we do, let's say 5 equal to 5, yes, 6 equal to 5, the result will be a true or false value. The result of this will be a true or false value. Because do we have any data type in which we can store true or false value? Yes, we have. Which type? We have a bool data type that allows us to store true and false values. So I can do this, let's say bool answer equal to, let's say 5 equal to 5. Now what this will return? 5 equal to 5. 5 equal to 5 will be true. This is true, right? So what will happen? An answer variable will be created. This variable has been created, which is of bool type, that is a true or false value. and it will store true here. This box will store a true here. Let's say I create one more variable, bool answer to. I put यहाँ पे 6 not equal to 5. So is 6 not equal to 5? Perfect. 6 is not equal to 5. It is a true statement. So this is true. This thing is true. And this true now will be stored in this answer to. Now this will store a true here. Perfect. Let's take some example of false also. Let's say bool answer 3. What if we say 6 is less than 5? So is 6 less than 5? No. It is a false statement. So false will be stored in this answer 3. There will be a variable answer 3 which will store a false. Okay. Does anyone has any doubt till this point? क्या सबको ये वाला part clear है? That we can store these true false values in variables also. In variables also. ठीक है. Clear to everyone? Yep. Great. ठीक है. Now guys, we expect them to store true or false value, yes. But if you, let's say, do cout answer 1 and L to try to print this, sorry, cout answer, then you do cout answer 2 and L, then you do cout answer 3 and L. ठीक है. नाउ यू एक्सपेक्ट कि यार ये चीज क्या प्रिंट करेगी? ये ट्रू प्रिंट करेगा. दिस शुड प्रिंट ट्रू, दिस शुड प्रिंट ट्रू एज वेल, दिस शुड प्रिंट फॉल्स. ये होना चाहिए, राइट, कि ये ट्रू प्रिंट करे, ट्रू प्रिंट करे, फॉल्स प्रिंट करे. बट लेट्स सी एक्चुअली में क्या होता है, व्हाट हैपेंस इन रियलिटी. लेट्स मूव बैक टू आईडी. Let's say we write this bool answer 1 equal to 5 equal to 5, 6 equal to 5. First was not equal to, then 6 is less than 5. So this should be true, this should be false, this should be, sorry, this should be true as well. They both are not equal. This should be false. So if we cout answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, we are expecting we should get true, true, false. But let's see what we get in the output when we run it. So this gives us 1, 1, 0. So instead of true, we got 1. Instead of true, we again got 1. Instead of false, we got a 0. Yes, can you relate with this? कि true को हम denote कर रहे हैं 1 के साथ. We denote true with 1 and we denote false with 0. Everyone understand this? कि अगर कुछ false होगा उसको हम 0 बोलेंगे, true को हम 1 बोलेंगे. It should be clear to everyone, right? Now, तो हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? True means 1. True means 1, ठीक है, and false means 0. अच्छा, what if instead of this expression I just write 1 यहां पर, I just write let's say 0 यहां पर. अच्छा, bool answer 1 equal to 1, that means answer 1 is true. 1 मतलब true, true मतलब 1. Yes. Answer 2 equal to 0, 0 means false, so 0 means false, false means 0. So this will be kind of true, this will be false, and this will be false as well. So we will get 1, 0, 0 as the answer, right? This is simple कि हम 1 को true बोल रहे हैं, 0 को false बोल रहे हैं. But guys, what will happen if I let's say store any other integer here? Now, will this give me true or will this give me false? So if you believe true is the answer, give a yes. If you believe false is the answer, give a no. Okay? I'm launching a poll. True means yes, false means no. If it gives true, give a yes. If it should give no, give a false. Okay, many people believe it will give no. But guys, the reality is this will give true. True or one. This will give true or one. Why this will give true? So most a very important rule to remember here is, so it see it gives us one here. So how it thinks is, how Boolean works is, there is only one thing that means false. So zero means false. Anything that is non-zero, anything non-zero, guys, will be true. Anything non-zero will be true. Okay? So if you assign any non-zero value here, that will always be true by default. That will always be true by default. That makes sense to everyone? Ki only zero is false. Except for zero, everything is true. Except for zero, everything is true. Okay? Let's just open the chat. If anyone has questions at this point, then we'll move to the last topic. Let's open the chat. No questions? Yes, I think cleared everyone. Yeah, great. Okay. So it says, what about negative values? Guys, very good question. Extremely good question. What if I do minus 1, 2, 3? What do you think? Will it give 0 or will it give true? Or 0 or 1? This will again give a true or 1. This will again give a true or 1. Why? Very simple rule, guys. Always remember, only 0 means false. Except for 0, anything positive, negative, decimal, anything in the world is true. All other things is true. True means 1. Okay? Can we use modulo in bool? Yes, we can do that. We can do that. We'll do that in a question. Thanks. Sure, I'll explain scene once again. Do not worry. This will be covered. Okay. So this covers our Boolean part, right? Okay. Now, guys, the next thing that we have to learn is conditionals. Next thing is conditionals. Okay. Guys, imagine you are checking out your, let's say, Hinge or Bumble, and you got a match with someone. Okay. Now you're planning a date with them. Okay. Now, what if the day you're planning to meet is rainy? You're going to meet them on, let's say, 12th, and the day is rainy. So you will plan here, if the day is rainy, I should carry an umbrella with me. Yes. And if it is not rainy, I should not carry any umbrella with me. So whether you will carry an umbrella or not depends on what? The rain. Yes. So we are doing a task based on a certain condition. Ki yaar, if the day is rainy, if it is rainy, if rain can happen, carry umbrella. Okay. Otherwise, else, if it is rainy, carry. Otherwise, you can go normally. You don't carry umbrella. Just carry yourself. Right? So we want to take some decisions based on certain conditions. Based on certain conditions. Right? So to depict the same behavior, in our code, so that computer can also take some decisions based on certain conditions. Let's say you're trying to make an account on Blind. Okay? Have you guys heard of Blind? So people gossip a lot about their workplaces where they're working. and put certain uses. So blind. So what blind will do, if you're trying to make an account on blind, they may ask you for your work email ID. And based on that, the work email ID is valid or not, you will get an account or you will not get an account there. Okay. There may be certain places that you may, for that, your age should be at least 18. Age must be greater than equal to 18. If you have age less than 18, you may not be enter that place. You may not be able to enter that place. Yes. So we can have something like this, that if the age of user is greater than equal to 18, then give them access. Otherwise, say them sorry. Can't give access, right? So we need to make some decisions based on certain conditions in life. Okay. One more example can be, let's say if you're trying to sign in on Code Forces, it will ask you about your username and password also, right? अब यूजरनेम आपने डाल दिया, पासवर्ड भी डाल दिया, तो क्या एंटर पे क्लिक करते ही आप लॉगिन हो जाओगे? नो, राइट, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन आपका पासवर्ड सही था या नहीं था. तो देयर विल बी अ लॉजिक समवेयर रिटन कि यार इफ दिस इनपुट इज इक्वल टू द एक्चुअल पासवर्ड, तभी आप साइन इन होगे, अदरवाइज यू विल नॉट गेट द एक्सेस, राइट? सो आई थिंक एवरीवन इज गेटिंग इंट्यूशन कि हमें कंडीशनल्स क्यों चाहिए. ठीक है, वी नीड दिस कंडीशनल्स फॉर श्योर. Now to depict the same behavior in our code, we have something called as if else ladder. We have something called as if else ladder. Let's start with a very simple question. Okay, let's say we get an input number n. We get n as an input. So what we can do, we can create one variable int n. We can do int n, then c in n. Now we just want to check yaar ki this number is odd or even. Is this number even or this number odd? So guys, how do you check whether a given number is even or odd? How to check for even? What is even? Anything that is divisible by 2. So 2 is even, 4 is even, 6 is even, 8 is even, 10 is even. So anything that is divisible by 2 will be even. How to check whether this n is divisible by 2 or not? Can we find remainder? How to find remainder? Can we do n mod 2 to find remainder? And if this remainder comes out to be 0, then this will be an even number. So we can put this in a if statement. So we'll say if n mod 2 is 0, then run this piece of code. Okay? Otherwise, run this piece of code. So out of these two blocks, only one will execute based on this condition. If this condition is true, guys, this code will get executed. If this condition is false, then this block will be skipped and we will move to the else part. Okay? Can everyone understand the concept of conditionals, that why do we need it and how we can use it? Somewhat high level of idea. Let me launch a poll for this. I think reactions will be good in the classes, yes, because हर बार poll launch करना is not a good idea. I'll figure this out before the next class कि reactions हमेशा on रहे. ठीक है, I think majority is clear with this. Conditionals क्यों चाहिए, but still if you have some doubt, we'll clear that towards the end. ठीक है. Now let's solve this on IDE. So we have to check यार एक number even है या नहीं है. So first of all, we create one variable n. We take the input. We say यार कि if n mod 2 is 0, so आप ये वाला कोड रन कर देना. We can do print it is even. Otherwise, this will be odd. That's it. Let's run this code for, let's say, 10. So for 10, this will be true. So we will enter at this block. For 11, this condition will be false because 11 mod 2 is not 0. So we'll come, this block will be skipped and we will enter here and print odd. So we have this simple question also on code forces. If we go back to code forces, we have even or odd. We can try submitting this here, even or odd. Submit here. The exact same question कि check करना है कि यार number even है odd है, right? So this also works for all test cases. This is the simplest use case of if else. Right? Let's see one more complex use case of this. Let's solve one hard problem on this. Let's solve this one. But before this, we need to learn one more thing. Maybe let's solve this pass fail first. Guys, if you see in this question we have, you are given the marks obtained by a student. Your task is to check whether that student has passed or failed. A student is considered to be passed if the marks obtained are at least 35. ठीक है? So marks can be from anywhere to 0 to 100. We get one integer as the input, marks. So 36 marks will be pass, 20 will be fail. ठीक है? So how do we check for this? So it says marks are at least 35. So it means we are saying here marks. How do we write this in code? So marks should be greater than 35 or it should be greater than equal to 35. What do you guys think? Will equal to come here? Yes, equal to will come here. Why? Because it says at least 35. At least means 35 is also valid. 35 is also valid. So we just have to check this condition here. If marks 35 से ज़्यादा है, then the student is pass. Otherwise, the student is failed. Okay. Does this make sense to everyone? A very similar kind of question. Nothing complex. Clear to everyone? All right. Okay, so here we will have a marks variable. We'll do C in marks. We'll say if marks are greater than equal to 35, we say the student is pass or the student is fail. So 11 वाला fail होगा, right? 37 वाला should be pass. Right. So very simple. Can just submit this on code forces now. This is pass or fail. So this should work. Right. This gives accepted. So this also works. Okay. Now let's learn one more thing that we will require to solve the remaining set of questions. Okay. Now the next question is that we are given two numbers and we have to find the maximum and minimum of them. Max and min of two numbers. And then we will solve for 3 as well. Okay, let's say we get A equal to 10 and B equal to 7. Okay. So guys, what will be the max value of 10 and 7. The bigger one will be 10, right? So max will come out to be 10 and minimum will come out to be 7. ठीक है. Now how do we identify कि इन दोनों में से कौन सा max और कौन सा min होगा? How do we check for that? Any ideas, anyone? How we can check कि यार कौन maximum होगा कौन minimum होगा? Let me open the chat. How you can check which one of them is maximum? Yes, can we use if else by comparing? Right? Yes. So we know यार हमारे पास we are getting two numbers, right? So max will be either A or B. When do we say कि यार max A होगा? Can we say if A is greater than B, then A will be the max value. So we can say if A is more than B, we can see out कि यार max will be equal to A. अच्छा, अगर A greater than B नहीं है, that means maximum कौन होगा? Maximum should be B, the other guy. If this is false, it means the other one is true. The other sign will be true. In that case, we can print max will be B. Yes, that's how we can figure out the max element of these two. Yes, if A is more than B, then A is the maximum. Otherwise, B is the maximum. That's it. Okay. Can we do the same thing for minimum as well? For minimum, what will change, guys? For minimum, we just have to change the sign here. We can say if A is less than B, then minimum will be A. Otherwise, the minimum will be B. Okay. Can everyone understand this code? Ki how we are finding the max and min values? अगर A बड़ा हुआ अभी से तो A आंसर है, वरना B है मैक्स का आंसर. min के लिए उल्टा हो जाएगा. That's it. Super easy to solve. So I'm opening the chat. Clear to everyone? Yes. Great. Can we only solve with if? हाँ, yes, we have used if else, so that would is sufficient. Else हमें use करना पड़ेगा यार. We need to use else. ठीक है. So very easy. If you just write the code as it is, just make sure you create A and B variables. ठीक है. And then take input of these two, and then this same code will be able to get you accepted. सही है. So this will help us to find max and min of two numbers. ठीक है. Let's come to the interesting part. इसमें मजा आएगा. What if we had to find max and min of three numbers? What if we have to find max and min of three numbers? ठीक है. Okay. So for let's say example हमारे पास है A is 10, B is 12, C is 7. Okay. Now we know यार कि if we have to, let's say first of all let's focus on max. If we have to find the max element, ठीक है. So if I ask you कि यार तीन ही पॉसिबिलिटी है, या तो A max होगा, या B max होगा, या C max होगा. अच्छा, when do we say A is the maximum element? When do we say कि A हमारा maximum element होगा? जब A B से बड़ा हो and at the same time and A C से भी बड़ा हो. In that case only A will be the maximum guy. What do you guys think? Is this making sense? कि A तभी max होगा when it is more than B and it is more than C at the same time. Similarly, we can say B तभी max होगा when B is more than A and B is more than C. अच्छा, अगर ये दोनों कंडीशन फॉल्स है इन दैट केस विनर कौन होगा, मैक्स कौन होगा इन दैट केस, otherwise C will be the answer. Is everyone able to understand this logic? कि अगर A दोनों से बड़ा है तो A मैक्सिमम हो गया, अगर B दोनों से बड़ा है तो B मैक्सिमम हो गया, अदरवाइज C विनर हो गया, C is the maximum. Is everyone clear with this, that how we find max of three numbers? Yes or no? Yes. Great. Now if you see I have used a and यहाँ पर कि I want that both of them should be true, both of them should be true. यहाँ तो हमने लिख दिया, but how do we write this in our code? How do we write this in our code? So a good news is that we have this and already present as a keyword in C++. So you can use either and, or you can use this and operator. Both will do the same job for you. Both will do the same job for you. Okay. Let's try to code this. Let's try to code this. Max and min of three numbers. So we get three integers A, B, and C. We take input of these three numbers C in A, B, and C. First, let's focus on finding the max. So we'll say that if A is more than B and A is more than C, then the winner is A. ठीक है. Otherwise, else if, अच्छा, what is else if? कि यार पहले आप ये चेक करो, अगर ये false होता तब आप ये चेक करो next वाली condition. We'll say else if अगर B A से बड़ा है and B C से भी बड़ा है, then आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? आंसर होना चाहिए B. Otherwise आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? It should be C. ठीक है. Is everyone able to understand this code? That this will help us find the max of three numbers. So 10, 12, 7. If we run this, we should get 12 as the maximum element. We get 12 as the answer. Okay. So this code will help us get the max element. Right? Is everyone clear with this? With this code to find the max of three numbers? Yes. But guys, what if I tell you this code is not completely correct? I'll give you a test case on which this will fail. ठीक है. If I give you 12, 12 and 7, यार इस केस में हमारा आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? इसमें विनर कौन होगा? सब मैक्स कौन होगा? मैक्स शुड बी 12. यस. रन करें इसको. Here we get 7 as the answer. Can anyone spot the mistake? कि what is the thing we have done wrong in our code? हमने क्या गलती करी है? Have we missed something? 7 क्यों आ रहा है यहाँ पे? देखिए 7 क्यों आ रहा है? लेट्स सी. इनपुट हमारे पास आया यहाँ पर 12, 12, 7. परफेक्ट. अच्छा, इस 12 मोर देन 12? नो, ये पार्ट फॉल्स हो गया. तो ये फॉल्स हो, सब कुछ फॉल्स ही हो जाएगा ना. कंप्लीट कंडीशन फॉल्स हो गई. विल कम हेयर. अच्छा, इज बी मोर देन ए? इज 12 मोर देन 12? नो. अगेन ये भी फॉल्स हो गया पूरा. दोनों फॉल्स हो गए, मतलब हम यहां पर आ गए तो 7 हो गया. कैन यू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम की दिक्कत क्या हो रही है यहां पर? यस और नो? डिड एवरीवन गॉट दिस की इशू यहां पर एग्जैक्टली क्या है? यस. हाउ टू फिक्स दिस? Now comes the tricky part. How to fix this? Yes, correct. Perfect. So this should be greater than equal to. Greater than equal to. Now this will work. ठीक है. So always take care of these things. When you have written the code, अच्छा ये चीज हमें आइडियली पहले ही करनी चाहिए थी before moving to code. But I did this intentionally so that I can show you. जैसे when we were trying to form solution here, we should have tested it before कि यार अच्छा अगर तीनों सेम आए तब आंसर सही आ रहा है क्या? What if दो लोग सेम आए? What if कुछ ऐसे हो गया? Right? So have some test cases, think of some test cases and try to work कि यार उस पे हमारा logic सही काम कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा. If it is working on everything, then only move to code. As I always say कि यार you should always think before coding, right? So think twice, code once. पहले सोच लो अच्छे से, then move to the typing and coding part. Coding easy है. Coding is never the challenging part. Challenging part is logic पर काम करना and trying to find this test case and their mistake. DSA is mostly about that. It is not just about coding. वो तो easy part है, वो तो ये भी कर लेता है. Yes. Clear to everyone? कि इतने आसान क्वेश्चन में मिस्टेक कैसे हो सकती है, right? So be careful of these things. So I think with this, you should be able to solve, I think, all these questions. Okay. So I've not covered if else in too much depth. I would recommend you that you read it by yourself. Here exactly if else kya hota hai. If have we have, right? Then we have else if. Yes. So just have a read about this if else ladder. It's very simple, very trivial. You will be able to understand it on your own. I will provide some reading material for you. But yes, so with this information, you should be able to at least attempt all the problems. You may face issues in one or two problems, but we are here for you. Put it on Discord. Someone will help you to solve these problems. Okay. So the goal would be, so before the next class, our goal would be to complete all these problems and have clarity on what we have learned today. तो हमने क्या क्या सीखा है? We have learned about what topics we have learned. ठीक है. Starting का तो it's not that important. The important part starts from here. That is our C++ code. How to write this. Acha. Do not worry about this header file. You can ignore this for now. You can just include iOS stream. That would be good enough. We'll discuss what is this in later classes. इसका भी use case है, but बाद में करेंगे एक बार इसको. ठीक है. Then just go through these slides. This was very trivial. Arithmetic operators plus minus. इसका ध्यान रखना दोनों का आपको. Take care of these two things. Then variables you will get used to it. We have int, long, double, char, bool, right? Variable क्या होता था? It is like creating a box for a computer so that it can remember some information for us. And input के समय भी variables ही काम आएंगे. Yes. Then just go through this quickly. Input, we have seen how to take input. For input, we use cin and put all the variables one by one here. Then relational operators, greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, and so on. Okay. Then we discussed about this Boolean true and false values. Ki everything in the world is true except for 0. Only 0 is false. Then what is logical operators? So logical क्या होगा? जैसे हमने डिस्कस किया एंड वाला पार्ट कि यहां पर एक कंडीशन है, यहां पर एंड, तो अगर दोनों ट्रू होंगे तभी ट्रू आएगा. वी हैव और ऑल्सो. So these two are mainly our logical operators. एक not भी होता है. You can write not. You can write it like and also or also. So just give a quick read on this. Not very difficult to learn. बहुत simple है. I'll share the material जिससे आप पढ़ सकते हो. Should be good to go. Then conditional we discussed if else ladder. So just go through this and you must be able to solve all these problems. Okay. Now guys, opening the questions. Bring the chat for the questions. We'll take for 10-15 minutes, then we'll wrap up. Okay. So I think the chat is on, already on. Okay. So let me turn it off once. Okay. So let's take your questions. And yes. Now, okay. More question from lead code for assignment. So Karan, if you are done with this, that's great. अगर आपसे सब कुछ कर लिया, that is amazing. If you need more questions for practice, what you can do is you can just go to Google and type ICPC assist university community. I think someone has already posted this on Discord, some student. So you can solve these questions also. These two also. It is optional. If you are a complete beginner, do not worry about this. Focus on completing the assignment questions only. and make sure while you are solving them you are maintaining the revision sheet that we discussed in the orientation session. I hope you guys remember for the revision sheet. तो अब जब भी कुछ भी सॉल्व कर रहे हो, लेट्स से आपने ये वाला सॉल्व किया, कॉपी दिस, ओपन करो यहाँ पर इसको, कॉपी दिस लिंक, revision sheet here. I'm not sure if I have that or not. So I'll just, I think everyone remembers what was that. So let me check if I have that. Should be in slides. So this revision sheet, right? हाँ, यहाँ पर है हमारे पास, ठीक है. So just write hello world, put the problem link here. Topic is like introduction to C++. What ID did you use? So nothing specific, just print C out. Solved, no help. Revisit, no. Yes. So you can keep on maintaining your revision sheet. It will help you in the longer run. आपको जब भी रिवाइज कुछ करना होगा, this sheet will help you a lot. ठीक है. And after some point of time, let's say after a month or two, you will feel यार कि I have not grown much. So whenever you revisit this sheet, you will see यार अच्छा I'm able to solve these questions now. Maybe I'm not able to solve the current topic, but इससे पहले तो मैं कर पा रहा हूँ ना, तो progress तो हो रही है, growth तो हो रही है. So it will also keep validating that as well. ठीक है. Add our CF account to group. So Harish, I cannot add that manually. ठीक है. आप बस उस लिंक पे एक बार क्लिक करो. You just go to that link and you will be able to access. अच्छा, someone was asking कि यार अब लिंक तो खो गया हमारे पास. We don't have that link. We lost the link. How we open these questions again? So just click on groups. Log into Code Forces. Open your groups. You will see a group यहाँ पर 100x School Bootcamp 1.2. Just click on this. And you will find all the assignments. अभी यहाँ पे सिर्फ हमारा first topic है. Next class में we'll study loops. So loops will also come at the same place only. So you can always reach via groups. And you can go enter there and you can now solve the problems present here on this page. ठीक है. How to save the problem list without link. Problem list without link. बस आप copy paste कर सकते हो. You can copy paste, nothing complex as such. How to solve H2. So Rishikesh, to solve H2 you need to use long because int won't be able to store bigger numbers. ठीक है. Use long for that. Have done DSA in Java for a long time but want to switch to C++ for CP, just saying that to please time to. So if you want to switch from Java to C++ is not a very hard task. Syntax is almost similar, maybe even easier than Java. So you can just follow the classes and keep on solving the assignments. So should be fine with that. Good night, Nitya. Good night. Any JS resource? Yeah, JS का कोई ऐसे specific resource तो I cannot think of it right now. मतलब JS you want to learn language ना, I think GPT से भी आप कर लोगे तो काम हो जाएगा. So whatever concept we're learning in C++, just ask GPT here, I want to learn same thing in JavaScript. तो मोस्टली सब कुछ सेम रहेगा, थोड़ा सिंटैक्स कैन वैरी. ओके. टर्नरी प्रतीक, क्या टर्नरी विल आल्सो डिस्कस विद टाइम. अभी के लिए क्योंकि लोग बस अभी स्टार्ट ही कर रहे हैं, तो लेट्स नॉट ओवरवेल्म देम, क्योंकि 1000 चीजें हमारे पास है करने को, बट लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वंस. श्योर कार्तिक, आई मोस्टली स्टिक टू इंग्लिश. श्योर. Okay. Is there any way that we can take the user input on command line? What I mean here is, I understand you can take that on command line also. So you will find two type of IDs. Okay, one type of IDs that we just used today, that is CodeChef. So if you, let's say, search online ID C++, if you open this GDB, if you write some code here, okay, here, let's say if I write int n, c in n, c out 2n, maybe 2 into n, maybe. Okay. If I run this, just scene, to use scene, we need to have that line using namespace std. Let's run this. Okay. Now we have to give input on terminal, that our code is waiting until we give input. Okay. So we can give here 12, we get 24 as the answer. So we have two type of IDs. That the one we used makes our life easier a little bit, कि हमको बार बार एंटर नहीं करना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे इनपुट, आप एक बार वहां पे बस डाल दो एंड यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली रन इट. ठीक है. तो यू कैन यूज दिस आल्सो इफ यू वांट. अंकुश सिंह रैंक क्यों नहीं आ रहा? अंकुश रैंक इज नॉट कमिंग बिकॉज इट इज अ प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट. So if you go to standings now, your rank will not come because I have not uh, put this as a contest. I put this as an assignment. तभी rank नहीं आ रहा है. When we will do the bi-weekly contest, वहां पर rank definitely आएगा. We'll get the rank there. Sure, Akshajor, we have planned sessions planned on that as well. So people who were asking the schedule here, how much we will be able to cover in 1 month or something like that. You can look at the syllabus, right? So you can take as a thumb rule that every week we will be covering one topic. We have done this today. Next week will be this. Then we'll do this string sorting, searching, right? So mostly a topic will is like one class. We need one class on at least one class on every topic. Otherwise, that won't be enough. Okay. We may have two classes also. One I can put recorded if the topic is a little big. But you, on an average, you can take care. One topic will require one class. So 1 month we can take up to this point till strings. I think that is a good progress if you are just starting out right now. In a month, if you can do this properly while solving all the assignments, that is a good progress. Okay. So time and space, guys, will start after 1 month only. So if you are already familiar with these topics, you may skip these classes, but make sure you solve all the assignments just to have a check here. I'm able to understand all the things that are covered in the class and attend contest also. That is important. You can skip classes if you want, if you are experienced, not otherwise. Ankshad is saying why it is wrong here. Origin x not 0, y 0. ठीक है, x axis, y axis. So Akshat, the mistake here is that it should is first quadrant. You're taking 2 ST quadrant. It should be second quadrant. 2 ND, third, 3 RD, 4, fourth, 4 TH, right? Because of this mismatch, your code is failing. Right? Just fix this. I think should be good to go. Okay, we can take more questions. Opening the chat for the questions. Okay. Dark mode CF. So Kishore, if you want code processor in dark mode, you can just have this dark reader extension and boom, you have this dark mode. That's it. Oh, I want light mode for this. Can you please make a sheet similar for this for lead code? Yes, so we'll make that as well, but with time. We are just starting out right now. So it's not the correct time to make it at the moment. What will be the rating of the questions? How high will go? Will go. So I think with time we will be solving in this course around 1800 level problems as well. Towards the end, not in the beginning. Currently, it's like beginner friendly problems only, just to make you comfortable with the language and the course. Initialization versus declaration, any example. Okay. So these are two different terms. Let me explain what do they mean. Okay. Initialization means कि we create a variable int x equal to 10. Okay. Here what we do, we create and initialize. Okay. Create is same as declaring. So I declare a variable or I create it and initialize, put some value in it. Okay. Whereas if I just do int y, I have not put any value in this variable. This is just declaration. Okay. So this first thing is initialization. This is declaration. I hope this difference is clear. जब हम इसको कुछ वैल्यू नहीं दे रहे ना शुरू में, that is declaration. It is initialization. When we give a value also. Okay, was doing Java before this. Should I do this instead of Java? I'm doing web dev, might do backend in Java. What should I do? So, I'm not sure what's your name. So, if you are doing Java, I'm assuming you were doing web dev also in this course, in this bootcamp. So, if you just stick to Java, Like how will you build front end in Java? Like we'll do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we'll do promises, right? So I would say ki if you're following this course, better to learn the things that are going on in the course. You do C++ with DSA, you do JS and whatever is taught in the course. Master that first, and then whatever stack you prefer, you can switch to that. आपको बस एक अच्छे से आना चाहिए, then you can easily switch between the stacks. Not a problem. What is the memory column in CF after submission? We'll discuss that with time. We'll discuss that with time कि उसका मतलब exactly क्या है. When we discuss time and space complexity, we'll come to that as well. The CF problem set is not giving under groups for us. Not sure what does that mean. Yes. So Aman, just like in JavaScript, it starts directly from the global context. And unless you make a function call to any other, unless you make a function call, you won't be able to reach there. In C++, the execution starts from the main function. So when you click on run button, no, the first entry point, the entry point of our program is this main function. Is this main function. So whatever we write here will be run automatically. Okay? But if we write more functions here, then we have to definitely call them. This is the only function that is called automatically at the beginning. Okay? Yes, Aryan. If you put answer equal to A again is a non-zero thing. Okay? So non-zero means true. This will be true. Yes. There is a concept of ASCII values. We'll do that as well, but with time. I have done DSF to BST in Java. Okay? However, it got placed in February last year, so I stopped practicing after that. Yes, if you have done DSA till that one, you can continue with Java. But if you're beginner, you can just do in C++. You continue, Karthik, you continue in Java and just keep solving the assignments. Yes, so if Java doesn't have vectors, so it has array list, Python has list, JavaScript has normal arrays, right? So I'll just keep on mentioning them as well when we start doing DSA. Currently, we are in the first phase where we are learning a language. Okay? When the language module is completed, so if I go back here, so language module is still this part. Pointers, pass by value, pass by reference. This is still the language. This is the language C++ module. We start DSA from this point. The actual DSA from this point. So after this point, things will be language independent. Here also things are logic will be again independent to the language. But yeah, because people are just starting out, so they need something to learn as well, right? Otherwise, how they will do DSA without any programming language? So this is the first module of C++. From here, DSA will start. So after this point, I will keep on giving the references कि यार Java में कैसे होगा, उसमें कैसे होगा, उसमें कैसे होगा. So I'll keep on explaining that. Do not worry about that. How int a equal to 10 stored in the memory? So Basant, as soon as we write int a equal to 10, तो उसमें होता क्या? What happens is a block a is created in the memory. It is of integer type which stores 10 here. This is on a very high level. This is a beginner level answer. But in reality, there are more things that happen as well. We'll cover that what exactly happens when we study pointers. Okay? We'll do things at the right time. This is not the right time to do this thing. Okay. Okay. One last, guys. Then we'll wrap up. Okay. So let's sleep. Okay, Karan, fine. You can go to sleep. Good night. Doing AI ML cohort, should I try these DSA questions in Python? Yes, Rohit, you can do that. No worries. You can do that if you want. Yes, Pritam, you can do that in Python. So if you go to code forces, no, let's say if I go to this hello world problem, if you go to submit code, you can choose any language of your choice. So we have all options available. You can choose any language and do DSA in any language you want. You can do in PHP also. PHP, Perl, Pascal, whatever is there. In Go also, whatever you like. Okay. My preferred one would be C++, Java, Python, or JavaScript. I would recommend either of these, but if you want, you can do this in other languages also. It's totally your call. Here is Zoom. Zoom is here. Okay. I have end sem exams. So what should I do so I'm able to catch up in web dev and DSA? So Anuj, if you have your end sem exams right now, I would suggest you focus on that, get good marks, and when the exams are over, get back to the course. Spend more time. When the exams are over and in your normal college days, if you have an option, don't go to classes. That's what I would say. Yes, Kriti. Yes, Kirti. The recording will be provided. As you can see, that it is recording, so it should not break this time. Yes, Pooja. You will become good at DSA if and only if you are consistent and are practicing regularly and building good fundamentals. You are not mugging up things. Actually understanding कि यार क्या चीजें हो रही होंगी. ठीक है? Okay. We had, sir, can you please use Hindi or English? English, I'm not able to understand total English. Sure, Pratik. Well, I'll keep on switching thoda bahut. But I think some people are there who do not understand Hindi. Have to find a balance. देखते हैं. How to manage both web dev and DSA. So the session today was DSA, right? Now you have a complete week to solve all the problems. Web dev will happen only one day in a week. So today was DSA, tomorrow will be web dev. Attend these two classes, and on the remaining days, you put your best effort what you can. So I would suggest put around 1 to 2 hours every day for DSA, and the remaining time, whatever you have, you can give to web dev. Yes, Rohit, you can do that. Sir, solve S2. So, Yagnesh, I would suggest take some more time, think upon yourself here how we can solve that problem. Even if you're not able to solve it by tomorrow, you can put it on the group. I'll share my solution there. Or you can ask TA as well. There was the question. Okay. Sir, I'm a BTech first or second sem student. Okay, I want to get an internship as a web developer. Is DSA necessary? When it depends on the company, yaar. So it totally depends on the interview process of the company. They may or may not ask DSA. They may or may not ask web dev. ठीक है. So there are a lot of companies जो आपसे सिर्फ DSA पूछेंगी, but web dev का काम कराएंगे अंदर. And there are other companies also जो सिर्फ web dev पूछेंगे और उसका ही काम कराएंगे. So if you have time, I would say कि यार आप दोनों को टाइम दो ताकि आप most of the companies focus you don't reject, you don't get, let's say कि आप apply ही ना कर पाओ, you पहले ही बाहर हो जाओ, right? If you have time, so do both. How many classes each week should we expect? One class per week for DSA. How will the subjects shuffle each week? So Thursday we have DSA, tomorrow we have web dev, then I think web 3, and on Sunday we will have AI. That will be the schedule. But to confirm, you guys can check out Luma. So if you go to luma.com/100x school, you will be able to find the schedule. Yes, so today was DSA, which has ended, and tomorrow we have web dev, then web 3 and AI, right? So you can follow this luma.com/100x school. Abhishek, great question. Why this code is not printing? So we'll discuss about this as well in the future classes. But try to think here how you can print this double quote. Revision sheet link place. I don't know Excel to make it for myself. So we have already shared the Excel. So if you go to Discord now, you will find all the links there in the announcement channel. Just check out once, you will be able to find. Even if you're not able to find, you can ping me on Discord. So Basant is asking, what is main? So main is the entry point where our code starts. It is the entry point where the execution actually starts. So where is the code chef? Yes. So whatever we code right here, whatever code we write here, the main is the entry point. Here सब कुछ यहाँ से start होगा. It will start from this line, from this line. It is the entry point of any program in C++. Why only this when seen here? Syntax है यार. It's grammar. It's like how it is defined. It's nothing to, let's say कि question की ऐसा क्यों है? ऐसा है बस. सिंटैक्स है। Yes, Tanveer. Even if you're intermediate, taking part in contest won't harm you, right? It will help you in revision. Foreign topics revise हो जाएंगे तो take part if you have time. I've done DSA in Java for a long time, so syntax is not at all issue, but CP related content is. Sure, Rishabh. We can plan around this. If we have, let's say, a few amount of people, we can have, let's say, one class per month, something like that for CP. Okay. That's it. I think we are done. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Okay. Even if you have some questions or you want to ask something, you can ping us on Discord. Okay. I'll see you next week. So bye bye. Good night. Take care.